Sheet. If you've watched HBO's The Wire, you know exactly what that sounds like. That elongated, iconic pronunciation of a simple curse word became one of the most memorable catchphrases in television history. And the man behind it, Isiah Whitlock Jr., passed away on Tuesday, December 30th, 2025 in New York City. He was just 71 years old. His manager, Brian Liebman, announced the heartbreaking news on Instagram, writing, "If you knew him, you loved him. A brilliant actor and even better person." Whitlock died peacefully after battling a short illness, though the specific cause has not been disclosed. For over 3 decades, Whitlock was a fixture in Hollywood, working with legendary directors like Spike Lee and Martin Scorsese, delivering unforgettable performances in The Wire, Veep, Goodfellas, and dozens of other projects. Today we're celebrating the life and legacy of Isiah Whitlock Jr., a character actor who made every role memorable and whose iconic catchphrase will live forever. Isiah Whitlock Jr. was born on September 13, 1954, in South Bend, Indiana. He was the fifth of 10 children, growing up in a large, close-knit family. From an early age, Whitlock knew he wanted to act. After graduating from college, he pursued formal training at the prestigious American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco, one of the most respected acting schools in the country. The training was rigorous, but it laid the foundation for a career that would span more than 3 decades. After completing his studies, Whitlock moved to New York City, where he would live for the rest of his life. New York was the epicenter of theater and television in the 1980s, and Whitlock dove headfirst into the grind of auditions, off-Broadway productions, and guest roles. His first notable screen appearance came in 1987 on the CBS drama Cagney and Lacey, a groundbreaking cop show that focused on 2 female detectives. It was a small role, but it got his foot in the door. Throughout the late 1980s and 1990s, Whitlock worked steadily in television, appearing in dozens of guest roles on shows like Law and Order Special Victims Unit, Law and Order Criminal Intent, and NYPD Blue. He became one of those actors that viewers recognized but might not know by name. You'd see him playing a detective, a lawyer, a witness, or a suspect, and you'd think, I know that guy from somewhere. That's the life of a character actor. You're everywhere, but you're rarely the star. But Whitlock didn't mind. He loved the work. He loved the craft. And he was building a reputation as a reliable, talented actor who could deliver a performance no matter how small the role. In 1990, he had a brief but memorable appearance in Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas, playing a sympathetic doctor. It was one of his first big-screen roles, and it showed that Whitlock could hold his own in major productions. Then, in the early 2000s, everything changed. 2 collaborations would define Whitlock's career and cement his place in pop culture history: his work with director Spike Lee and his role on HBO's The Wire. Spike Lee is one of the most important filmmakers in American history, and he's known for building long-term relationships with actors he trusts. Isiah Whitlock Jr. became one of Lee's go-to collaborators, appearing in 6 of his films over nearly 2 decades. The partnership began with 25th Hour in 2002, a post-9/11 drama starring Edward Norton about a convicted drug dealer spending his last day of freedom before going to prison. Whitlock played a small but memorable role as an agent, and it was in this film that he first introduced what would become his signature catchphrase, "Sheet." Whitlock didn't invent the word, obviously, but the way he said it, with that long, exaggerated drawl, turning a 1-syllable curse into a 3-second experience, was entirely his own. In a 2008 interview, Whitlock explained that he got the phrase from his late uncle, Leon, who would deliver it in a way that always made people laugh. "I did it in 25th Hour, and I did it in She Hate Me," Whitlock said, referring to another Spike Lee film from 2004. "But then, when I got on The Wire, I saw a couple of opportunities where I could do it, and I did." Whitlock continued working with Spike Lee throughout his career, appearing in Red Hook Summer, 2012, Chirac, 2015, Black Klansman, 2018, and Daw 5 Bloods, 2020. In Daw 5 Bloods, Whitlock played a Vietnam veteran, delivering one of his most emotionally complex performances. After Whitlock's death, Spike Lee paid tribute to him on Instagram, writing, Today I learned of the passing of my dear beloved brother, Isiah Whitlock. We lost a great one. Lee's films gave Whitlock the chance to showcase his range, but it was The Wire that made him a cultural icon. HBO's The Wire premiered in 2002 and ran for 5 seasons until 2008. Created by former Baltimore Sun journalist David Simon, the show is widely considered one of the greatest television dramas of all time. It examined the drug trade, politics, education, and the media through the lens of Baltimore, Maryland, painting a complex, unflinching portrait of urban America. Isiah Whitlock Jr. joined the cast in the show's second season, playing Maryland State Senator R. Clayton Clay Davis, a corrupt politician who embodies everything wrong with the system. Clay Davis was charming, charismatic, and absolutely shameless in his graft and manipulation. He funneled money from city development projects into his own pockets, played political allies and enemies against each other, and always managed to stay one step ahead of the law. But what made Clay Davis truly unforgettable was how Whitlock played him. There was a twinkle in his eye, a knowing grin, and of course, that catchphrase. Whenever Clay Davis was cornered, confronted, or simply irritated, he would let out a long, exasperated shit. It was funny. It was perfect. And it became instantly iconic. The writers of The Wire loved it so much that they started writing scenes specifically to include the catchphrase. In one memorable scene, Clay Davis testifies before a grand jury and delivers "shit" in response to a prosecutor's question. The moment went viral before viral was even a thing. Fans of the show would quote it, imitate it, and share clips of it online. In 2020, the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum even released a 20th anniversary edition, Isiah Whitlock Jr. bobblehead that said the phrase "when you pressed a button." Whitlock never got tired of it. "Do I get tired of it? No," he told the Associated Press in 2020. "If it makes you feel good, so be it." He even started a YouTube series in 2014 teaching people how to say it correctly, breaking down the pronunciation and delivery with the same care a jazz musician might give to teaching a complicated riff. "I was in Grand Central Station once, and far away I heard someone say it, and they'd be kind of smiling," Whitlock said in a 2008 interview. "I'm glad people enjoy it." In 2011, Whitlock got to have some fun with his Wire legacy when he appeared in the comedy Cedar Rapids as a character who was a self-professed fan of The Wire. It was a meta moment that showed Whitlock had a sense of humor about his place in pop culture. The Wire ended in 2008, but Clay Davis and Shit lived on. The show has only grown in cultural significance over the years, with new generations discovering it on streaming platforms. And every time someone watches it for the first time, they discover Isiah Whitlock Jr. and that unforgettable catchphrase. After The Wire, Whitlock continued to work steadily, proving that he was far more than a one-note actor. From 2014 to 2016, he had a recurring role on HBO's political satire, Veep, playing General George Maddox, the U.S. Secretary of Defense who runs against Vice President Selina Meyer, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, in the 2016 primaries. Veep was a sharp, ruthless comedy, and Whitlock held his own alongside one of the greatest comedic ensembles on television. He also appeared in shows like Your Honor, Atlanta, and most recently, The Residence, a Netflix murder mystery starring Uzo Aduba that premiered in March 2025. Whitlock played Chief of Police Larry Dokes, and it would turn out to be his final television role. On the big screen, Whitlock continued to work with top-tier directors and appear in a wide variety of projects. He had roles in Peter Hedges' Pieces of April, Miguel Arteta's Cedar Rapids, Elizabeth Banks' Cocaine Bear, and Disney's Enchanted. He also lent his voice to animated films, including Pixar's Cars 3 and Lightyear. His final film role will be in Hoppers, an upcoming Pixar animated sci-fi comedy due for release in March 2026. Whitlock was also passionate about theater. In 2002, he was nominated for a Lucille Lortel Award, one of the most coveted off-Broadway accolades, for his performance as Joe in Christopher Shin's play, 4. He never stopped working in theater, returning to the stage whenever he could between film and television projects. Despite his success, Whitlock remained humble and grounded. He kept his personal life private, rarely giving interviews about anything other than his work. He was known in the industry as a kind, generous, and professional presence on set. His manager, Brian Liebman, described him as a brilliant actor, and even better person. In his later years, Isiah Whitlock Jr. became focused on giving back to the next generation of actors. He established the Isiah Whitlock Jr. Fine Arts Theater Endowment at Southwest Minnesota State University, providing scholarships to aspiring thespians. Whitlock understood how difficult it was to break into the industry, especially for actors of color, and he wanted to make sure that talented young people had the opportunities and support he had received. Whitlock's career was a testament to the power of persistence, humility, and craft. He never became a household name in the way that leading men do, but he built a career that most actors would envy. He worked consistently for over 30 years. He collaborated with some of the greatest filmmakers in the world. He created a character and a catchphrase that will live forever in pop culture. And he did it all while being, by all accounts, a genuinely good person. Spike Lee's tribute on Instagram captured what so many people felt about Whitlock. "We lost a great one," Lee wrote, and indeed, Hollywood lost a great one on December 30th, 2025. The news of Isiah Whitlock Jr.'s death spread quickly on Tuesday afternoon, and the tributes started pouring in almost immediately. Social media was flooded with clips of his most iconic moments, photos from throughout his career, and heartfelt messages from fans, colleagues, and friends. Brian Liebman, Whitlock's manager, shared the news on Instagram alongside photos of the actor. "It is with tremendous sadness that I share the passing of my dear friend and client, Isiah Whitlock Jr. If you knew him, you loved him. A brilliant actor, an even better person. May his memory forever be a blessing. Our hearts are so broken. He will be very, very missed." Fans shared their favorite Isiah Whitlock Jr. moments. GIFs of Shiite flooded Twitter and Instagram. Clips from The Wire resurfaced on TikTok. And countless people wrote about how Whitlock's performances had impacted them, how he had made them laugh, how he had brought humanity to every role he played. One fan wrote, "Rip to the legend Isiah Whitlock Jr. He made Shiite an art form." Another said, "Isiah Whitlock Jr. was one of those actors who made everything he was in better. A true character actor in the best sense." And someone else simply posted a clip of Clay Davis from The Wire with the caption, "Rest in power, King." The tributes weren't just from fans. Industry insiders, actors, directors, and writers all shared their memories of working with Whitlock and their sadness at his passing. It's rare for a character actor to receive this level of love and recognition, but Isiah Whitlock Jr. earned every bit of it. Isiah Whitlock Jr. died on December 30th, 2025, at the age of 71. He passed away peacefully in New York City after battling a short illness. The specific cause of his death has not been disclosed, but what is clear is that Hollywood has lost one of its most talented, reliable, and beloved character actors. From Goodfellas to The Wire to Veep to Daw 5 Bloods, Whitlock brought authenticity, humor, and humanity to every role he played. He worked with legends like Martin Scorsese and Spike Lee. He created a catchphrase that will outlive us all, and he did it all while being, in the words of his manager, a brilliant actor and even better person. Isiah Whitlock Jr.'s legacy isn't just in the roles he played. It's in the way he treated people, the way he approached his craft, and the way he gave back to the next generation. He will be remembered. He will be missed. And every time someone watches The Wire and hears Clay Davis say, "She it," they'll remember the man who made it legendary. Rest in peace, Isiah Whitlock Jr. Thank you for everything. What was your favorite Isiah Whitlock Jr. role? Drop your memories in the comments below.